I'd like to ask to speak on the nomination.
Senator, we've debated these two nominees twice.
Mr. Chairman, I would also like to speak on the nomination.
I understand what you'd like to do, but I'm saying that in fairness, we have debated these nominees twice, and I ask the clerk to call the roll.
Mr. Chairman, you're denying us an opportunity to speak on a nominee?
Man. I mean,
third time, no.
Okay, do this.
So we don't have a right to speak under the rules?
Under the third time, I'd say no.
So you're just going to make it up?
So yeah.
I'd like to
There's going to be a lot of consequences
I'd like
coming
to speak
here.
Too, Mr.
You're going to have a lot of consequences coming if you go down this road.
You better
I've cautioned you. I've cautioned a lot of you.
The clerk will call the roll.
Listen to me. I've cautioned a lot of you.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, don't we get the opportunity to speak?
We're in a roll call.
So you're telling us to shut up?
Even though multiple
you
members
want
have
us
asked to speak?
shut up? Is that what you're saying?
A lot of people didn't speak on the two nominees before.
We've done.
Would you raise your hand if you did not speak?
I did not have a
Senator Cornyn didn't even have a chance to speak.
Senator Blackburn had a chance to speak.
We've got several folks, Mr. Chairman, who didn't have a chance to speak.
We want to tell you again why these nominees are awful.
Or in Senator Cornyn's case, tell you for the first time. You're just going to sit there and ignore us?
Senator Blackburn, have you spoken on these nominees?
I've not had the opportunity to speak. I would like very much to speak on Mr.
Mr. Chairman,
Casabai.
I urge you to let Senator Blackburn speak.
Senator Cornyn as well. Senator Cornyn hasn't had a chance to speak.
That's correct.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. You can't limit debate without invoking Rule 4. You haven't done that.
We have debated.
Mr. Grassley.
We've debated on prior occasions when we didn't have a quorum. That vote didn't count. We've got people who are here now who weren't here then who would like to speak.
Can we speak on the other nominees?
Or is your plan just to end all debate today? Is your plan to end all debate? Do you have an answer? You're going to rely on someone whispering in your ear. What's your plan?
No.
No, we're not. Okay, listen, here's the deal. We worked 7 weeks to trying to solution the asylum problems. You boycotted the committee.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you've left us any alternative but to deny the committee a quorum. I think that's something we ought to seriously consider.
I tell you what.
Mr. Cotton says the chairman needs to rethink his decision and let Senator Cornyn and Senator Blackburn speak. That's what Mr. Cotton says. You can mark that down as my vote.
Yeah,
and everybody over there who's not willing to look at me or look at Dick Durbin needs to think about it as well. Mr. Kennedy wants to speak as well. Mark Mr. Cotton now saying Mr. Kennedy needs to speak too.
Mrs. Blackburn.
I'm waiting to be heard on the nominee. I've requested several times to be heard on the nominee.
So no, I guess Senator Durbin is not going to allow women to speak either. I thought that was sacrosanct in your party.
Mr. Chairman, you just destroyed one of the most important committees in the United States Senate.
Chair would note,
and you set a precedent which will be repeated every time one party or the other takes advantage and takes the low road. It sets a precedent that will then become the norm. Congratulations on destroying the United States Senate Judiciary Committee.
Up next is court for the Northern
Who
District
has not
of California.
spoken on this nominee?
Clerk will call the roll.
Will you raise your hand? Look at all these people who have never said a word before you make them vote. Never said a word before you make them vote.
Just going along with it. Just going along with it.
You know, when
Mr.
we were in the
said
majority,
he would allow members to speak.
Mr. Chairman, when we were in the majority, we allowed Democrats to speak ad nauseum at great length. We never did this.
Both of these nominees have had 2 opportunities for speeches by members.
You have to bring them up again. It wasn't our fault. It's your fault.
Going right along with it.
Mr. Chairman, I hope you're proud of yourself.
Is this guy talking to Dick Durbin, the chairman?
Yeah, you really have. I don't know what drives this, Dick. I really don't.
Mr. Chairman, is it you driving it or is it your staff
is
driving
Joe Zogby,
it?
the chairman of this committee, or is it you?
Driving this? This is completely inappropriate not to let us be heard on these nominations, and you know that.
Your own members have told you to let them speak.
This is a complete disgrace.
And maybe you can share
I see
with
my
us.
colleagues over here who understand what goes around comes around.
I mean, this is so unnecessary to ruin the committee over a political exercise that's going nowhere. Senator Whitehouse.
I would like to. Was my name called? I can't hear. Where's that voice?
Was he recognized to speak?
We're on a roll call.
Ma'am? I'd like to speak, please.
We're on a roll call.
Mrs. Blackburn.
I'm waiting to be heard on the nominations.
Mr. Coons.
Is this an illegal vote?
Chair Durbin.
So now Joe Zogby is going to dictate to other senators how they're going to vote?
The nomination will be favorably reported. We now turn to